Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome to the show. Tonight we have a good one here. It is race number 7 of the American Sim Racing Club Late Model Stocks presented by Postma Flooring. Here tonight is race number 7, so we are officially after the halfway point. I'm Brett the Jet in the booth with Turn 3 Racing Network, and we are at Lucas Oil Raceway, or Indianapolis Raceway Park, IRP also known as. We're taking a look here at the 48 car. This is Tim Rogers on lap number 1. We'll see where Rogers can go here. He will hit the stripe right about now. So Rogers will cross the stripe. Lap number 1 for Rogers. Good enough for P number 2. A 22.38 for the 48 machine. We'll have to see if he can improve lap number 2 here. Seems like it can be possible to go faster here on lap number 2. You just got to keep that momentum up just that little bit. So the 48 car here off of turn number 4 for the final time here in qualifying. Rogers does not improve. Stephen Hoffman, though, does. Hoffman goes quick time. Now Tanner Tallarico to the quick time at the top of the board. We'll now head on over to the 51 machine of Ron Hart. Hart, last week's winner at South Boston. Here we go. So we'll see where Ron can go here. Of course, tonight we'll start at the back with the shotgun rule. So he's just trying to see where he can slot on in based on just time alone. As he gets a little bit loose there off of turn number 2, having to turn that wheel just a little bit to the right. Remember, folks, with qualifying, taking each driver's best time of their 2 laps, and then from that, taking the top 12, going to invert them. So right now, the 73 car of Jamie Prevost sits on the pole here. Ron Hart jumps up to P number 5, so that'll put now Jay Dunnigan in the number 3 on the pole here at the moment as we wait for a few more cars to take a lap. Looks like now the 66 machine of Stephen Rochford. Rochford here getting ready to rock and roll here. And it looks like Rochford does not make it out there in time for the end of qualifying. So Tanner Tallarico in the number 1 car will walk away with the quick time. So big congrats there to Tanner. He actually currently sits as the points leader coming into tonight. So our points leader having some more momentum in his back pocket, walking away knowing he's the quickest by the end of qualifying here. So that will do it for qualifying here, and we get ready to rock and roll here for 125 laps. Going to be a long race for these drivers. These drivers, of course, last week we saw tires starting to fail at the end of that long run. We'll probably have something kind of similar here tonight. So these drivers going to have to really see how they can manage these tires, because here we go, taking a look at what the track is looking like here. A nice cool 71 degrees. Bit of humidity here tonight in Indy at 62%. Overcast clouds. Doesn't really matter because we're under the lights and about 5-mile-per-hour wind. And look at that. With it being night and cool, track temperature only 72 degrees here at this 2/3 mile racetrack here. Of course, that's the length of the track. Decent altitude. But like I said here, over in Indianapolis here, if you want to find out more and stay up to date, check out American Sim Racing Club there on Facebook. And of course, we got to thank all of our sponsors that let us able to do what we do and race on these Tuesday nights. That, of course, being the Postma Flooring late model stocks, and you know, their big support with the title sponsor of this series, as well as LaPlante Racing Products coming on board, Boardwalk Subs, and everyone else that makes this happen, both the drivers, the fans watching, as well as all the admins doing the work behind the field here. So that'll do it here for warm-up. We'll get ready to head it down trackside and go through tonight's starting lineup for 125 laps here for race number 7 at IRP. So here we go, folks. We get ready to rock and roll. Let's run through tonight's starting lineup here at IRP. Jay Dunnigan in the number 3 or the number 6 on his car will lead the field to the green flag. Tis outside will be the 906. That is JT Batson. In row number 3, Ace Hart in the 145 would roll off third, but we'll take an EOL here, so we'll start towards the back. Starting in P number 4 will be the 13 car. That is Zach Cold Beer Coyer. Starting in P number 5 will be TJ Hansen, making a nice start here tonight, deep inside the invert. TJ Hansen in the 41 will roll off 5th. 6th going to the 31 machine. That is Zach Hummel, another great qualifying effort by the 31 machine. Starting in 7th will be the 48. That is Tim Rogers, rolling off 8th, or should be 8th, but we'll go to the back here as he won last week. It would be the 51 machine of Ron Hart. Starting in 9th is the 88. That is Chuck Darling. 10th going to the 21. Greggy Long makes his return here on Tuesday nights. Rolling off 11th is Stephen Hoffman. Had one stolen under his nose last week. He's looking for some redemption here tonight. He will start 11th. Starting in 12th, and tonight's quick time qualifier will be the 1 car, our points leader. That is Tanner Tallarico. Starting in 13th is the 73 car. That is Jamie Prevost. 14th going to the 33 of Justin Brooks. 15th is the 66 of Stephen Rochford. Didn't quite get a time there. Was just short of getting a qualifying time. 16th going to the 38 car of Dave Bain. Another car not taking a time. Same with these last 2 guys as well. Scott Rochford in the 77, as well as Ty Delphia in the 013 will roll off 18th. But like I said, the father-son combo of the Hearts will start shotgun on the field here tonight with the EOLs that they either requested or were given. So here we go. We get ready to rock and roll here. I believe next time by at the start-finish line here, folks, we will get the 1 to go signal and we will turn these guys loose. So 18 cars getting ready to do battle for 125 laps here at Lucas Oil Raceway. So that we do here, we get the 1 to go signal. So this field ready to rock and roll, ready to do battle, and it should be a good one here. We'll see the bottom side be where it's at the first couple laps, and then drivers starting to feel out where their car's best, where they want to run, and how will they keep their tires underneath them for 125 laps here tonight. Front row will be made up of Dunnigan here in the 6th and JT Batson on the outside front row. So it looks like here, gonna delay it one more time. I think we have 1 car disconnecting here. I believe that is a 77 car having some sort of issue. So we will put out the yellow flag at least 1 more lap here just to make sure everything's good to go. It looks like this time by, once again, getting the 1 to go. So should be ready to rock and roll this time on by. So like I said, Dunnigan leading the field to green. Tis outside Batson. Row number 2, Hansen and Coyer. Alrighty, the iRace and pace car makes its way down onto pit road, and now the 6 car on it very, very early. Man, that was very early on the start. We'll have to see if race control likes that, but here we go. We are green flag racing here at IRP. Side by side for the race lead here. The 906 and the 6 car out here. Looks like JT Batson down the backstretch will get the race lead here. Further on back, 3 wide contact. TJ Hansen, Greggy Long get into each other. Hansen stuck in the middle, just trying to find any sort of opening. Here comes Justin Brooks. He is a man on a mission, and he is quickly making his way through the field here. That 33 machine here flying out here tonight. And oh, Chuck Darling around on the backstretch. He will bring out the first caution of the night and all sorts of calamity behind as everyone tries to check up for the sideways 88 machine. And that will be quite a few cars involved here, especially since it was right at the start there. So we'll take a look, see what happened to Chuck Darling down the backstretch, and try and see who all was involved here. as I think it starts with the 88 and the 31 here off of turn number 2. We can see the 31 of Hummel kind of in the wall just a little bit. And then off of turn number 2, Hummel a little bit low on the racetrack. Darling trying to go up there, and then, yeah, they just kind of cross past there in the way of each other. Then further on back, Hoffman big time on the brakes. Jamie Prevost will come in, get a little bit of contact. Same with Ty Delphia, Ace Hart. Ron Hart will just get a piece of it, maybe in his doors. So I want to say, about 7 cars with some sort of damage after the first caution of the night here. So last week kind of flipped on its head compared to tonight. Last week we didn't see a caution all the way till about 100 laps in. Here tonight, it comes out here on lap number 2, and quite a few cars involved. Looks like Chuck Darling done for the night. Scott Roachford able to get those issues solved in the 77 machine. He is back out there. He should be the lucky dog here this time by, but quite a few cars down on pit road. Ty Delphia, Ace Hart, Dave Payton, all 3 of those cars down on pit road. So out in front, though, JT Batson leading his first laps here in ASRC, this 906 Busch machine. Out there in front, Zach Coyer in P number 2, Tim Rogers P number 3. Then it's Jay Dunnigan in 4th, Greggy Long rounding out the top 5 here. So this time by, JT will, I think, should get the choose here. Can choose the inside or the outside lane. Does get that choice here, so we will see. He does elect the outside lane here, so that'll put Zach Coyer inside of row number 1. As, yeah, Jacob, we see out here, that's Indy for us, low banking at this racetrack, so these race cars are going to be slipping and sliding, especially when these drivers trying to put down the power. That's going to determine how well you can keep these tires under you, how much you wear them, because the more you slip and slide these cars, the quicker these tires will go away, both in wear and in heat. So here we go. It's going to be Batson, Coyer on the front row, the 906 in control. He will go here and get a great start. He'll be out by himself as we take the green flag once again back to racing here. Batson, Coyer by themselves here now. Tim Rogers looking to the inside of the 13 machine as they will go side by side for P number 2 here. Caution flag out on the speedway. Oh, 1 car big time off the ground. That is the 76 machine of Jamie Prevost. Prevost going to try and get that car turned on around. It looks like Zach Hummel involved in another incident here tonight. So we will try and see what happened to bring out the second caution here right on the restart, as Prevost here going into turn number 1. Maybe going to try and speed this up just a little bit because we start a little bit ahead of the incident. But you can see here Prevost kind of right on the apron here. Looks all good for the most part at the moment. Then we will get here off of turn number 2. The back end of the 73 just stepping out. Like we were just saying, folks, that car can get big time sideways and out of sorts, and then, oh man, Zach Hummel coming in late with the big RKO there to the right side door of the 73 car, and that will probably kill both of those race cars and end both the nights for the 73 and the 31. Wow, that was a big time hit there, and like we were just saying before, this track not having a lot of banking, a decent amount of speed, these things can get out underneath you here in a hurry, and if you're not lightning quick on those reactions, that could be definitely the outcome here. So to start off the race, 2 quick cautions in the first 10 laps here. As here, not sure what happened to Zach Coyer. Coyer sits all the way back here in about 12th position, so I think Coyer ended up going on pit road. Not sure what the reason was, but Coyer was up inside the top 5. Now we'll restart all the way back in 12th here. So top 5 with these shakeups here. Batson in the 906 leading the way. Then it is the 48 of Tim Rogers. Then the 21 of Long. Then the 33 car of Brooks making quick work through the field. And then it is once again the 3 or the 6 car of Dunnigan rounding out the top 5 here. So it looks like Batson once again, he chose the outside last time, worked well for him. He's going to do exactly the same. So the rest of the field going to re-rack, restack, and we get ready to turn him on loose. Now, with about 10 laps already done here under the first 2 cautions. So hopefully we'll get a little bit of green flag racing here and see what kind of pace these drivers have for this race. So here we go. It is Batson, Rogers on the front row. Pretty even start from the front row as we go back to green flag racing here at IRP. The 906 will try and carry something around, but Rogers has a shorter way through the corner. Tim Rogers, the new race leader, 3 wide for second off of turn number 2. Justin Brooks here trying to make quick work. Brooks up into P number 2. He was the quickest here in practice, and he is quickly trying to get through the lead. Last week we saw him go from the back all the way to the lead just before the halfway point. Here tonight he wants to do it even sooner. Brooks wants a lead here in the first 15 laps. He will dive it down into turn number 3 here, and off of turn number 4, new race leader Justin Brooks will snatch it away from the 48 of Rogers. Further on back here, almost calamity off of turn number 4 as 3 wide racing here between Hansen, Batson, and Stephen Hoffman here. They will sort themselves out just a little bit here. Now Tanner Tallarico going to shoot the gap here. Same with Zach Coyer. So these guys all racing pretty hard, but out in front, Justin Brooks trying to check on out. Greggy Long up into P number 2. Those two of the fastest cars out on the racetrack here at the moment, and they are absolutely flying here to kick off the race here tonight. This is currently the best battles on the speedway that we're looking at right now here. This is from 5th on back, with Stephen Hoffman currently sitting in that 5th position here, but was under fire just a little bit from Tanner Tallarico, and I think that would be the case here. Those 2 cars battling for the lead before that caution fell at South Boston. So before the end of this one, expect to see this 86 and this 1 car towards the front of the field. They have started to catch our 4th place runner, Jay Dunnigan, here in the number 6. Now Tanner Tallarico looking to the inside of the 86. Hoffman will have the run down the backstretch. We'll now look to the inside of the 6 car. Won't quite have the momentum here, so they will stay in line. We'll try again here into turn number 1. We'll have the shorter way around, but that top side seems like it's coming in. I think it will continue to work on it, especially as this run goes on, but what you have to be careful of up in that top lane is right there, getting loose, and they make contact. I was just about to say, folks, that outside lane can beg you to get those rear tires lit on up, and before you know it, you are coming down the racetrack, and that's exactly what happened to Stephen Hoffman. Just an innocent bystander. We'll lose a couple positions because of it, but we'll keep that race car underneath, and that is the bigger issue. And we'll fight for another day here as Tanner Tallarico able to make the pass. So Tallarico up into P number 4 here. As now Hoffman trying to rework around Zach Coyer in the 13 machine. Looks like at the moment only 13 cars still out on the raceway. So with those 2 cautions happening at the start of the race, a lot of cars involved here to kick off the race. And like we see here, 5 cars down on pit road and so far out of the race here tonight. is the battle for sixth out on the track here. Stephen Hoffman slowly inching ahead of Zach Coyer here, and Coyer might be used in a pick here as Hoffman gonna try once again to get around the sixth machine. Well, this time will it be a little bit cleaner? Hoffman, a big send into turn number 3. Can he make it stick? These two are going to be close again off of turn number 4. They'll make some more contact with each other, but now Stephen Hoffman will get clear. Hoffman will see clear track out in front of him. Now Zach Coyer going to try and do the same, and right behind them, here comes Stephen Rochefort here in the 66 machine. One driver we do not see here tonight, JJ McCray, not out here. McCray, of course, one of the leaders in the dual points here with both the late model stocks on Tuesday and the street stocks on Wednesday. So with McCray out here, not out here tonight, you know, he could be missing up to 40 points. So we may see a different leader in the overall points here. So that's about to get shaken up big time here tonight. And one of the big beneficiaries from that is our third place driver, Tim Rogers. He could be one of them, the other being the 66 machine of Stephen Rochefort. Now Zach Coyer continue trying to work over the 6 car here. They'll go side by side, or the 3 car in the timing and scoring here. That is, of course, Dunnigan, Jay Dunnigan here in the 3 in the timing and scoring, or the 6 on the car. Looks like here off of turn number 4, Zach Coyer almost gets clear. He just has to drive it in here deep. He'll get clear. Yes, he does. So Zach Coyer now up into P number 6. Now Stephen Rochefort going to try and do the same further on back here. Dave Payton, TJ Hansen starting to close up on each other just a little bit here. These two within about 2 car lengths of each other, and that can be the same out here in front. 2 of the J-Bo design machine, Justin Brooks design cars out here 1-2 and kind of matching each other's pace here. Justin Brooks, Greggy Long right on top of each other here. I thought at least when Brooks got this lead he was going to check out, but Greggy Long here in this 21 machine keeping it honest. He is right on the back bumper in case Brooks makes a mistake, but that is a tall order to ask the 33 machine to make a mistake here. So just over a 1/5 of the way done here tonight. And it's so far Justin Brooks leading the way, Greggy Long hot on his tail. Tim Rogers in 3rd, Tanner Talarico 4th, Stephen Hoffman rounding out the top 5 here at the moment. Let's ride on board with our 2nd place driver, Greggy Long here. Just see what he is seeing, as well as how hard it is to keep his marks, or is he driving based off the back bumper of the 33? You know, as soon as he sees him lift, then he's lifting. Let's ride on board and see what Greggy Long is doing in P number 2. And you can see here on the left, kind of bottom left of your screen, these lap times not dropping off too much, only about 0.2 of a second. So even though these guys are really pushing the pace, especially these guys 1 and 2, they are keeping pretty good race pace overall here. The only car that might be matching their pace is our 4th place driver of Tanner Talarico. Each of those guys about in the 22.4s. Now Stephen Hoffman just clicked off his best lap of the night, a 22.37. So maybe Talarico and Hoffman might have something here with them saving. They're about, 2.5 seconds to 4 seconds off these leaders. So we'll have to hope for more and more fall off as this race goes on, but we are now just about 90 laps to go left in this one, and still a lot of racing left to be had here tonight. Still 13 cars out on the racetrack here. No one else from pit road has made it back out at all. It looks like only really 2 cars on pit road getting repairs. Don't know if they plan to come out. That is Jamie Prevost and Ty Delphia. So I don't know if either of those cars, like I said, plan to make it back out, but they're the only 2 cars left on pit road. Everyone else have packed it on up, brought it behind the wall, and said, we are done for the night. Out in front though, Greggy Long now within a half a car length of Justin Brooks. He is putting the pressure on our race leader. Let's ride on board with Brooks, looking at back to Greggy Long here. Justin Brooks' best lap time of 22:08. That is a blistering lap time. Definitely the best of anyone by far for some race pace. But is he paying for it now? Last time by only a 22:56. So maybe that car's starting to go away just a little bit, and he has a mirror full of that purple and white 21 machine as Long tries to look for anything here. You can see out in the distance, so that yellow car of Tanner Tallarico starting to hound down the 40 of Tim Rogers for third. And Greggy Long right there, you can't even see the Cadillac emblem anymore on the nose. Excuse me, the Ford Mustang emblem, as he'll look to the inside, think better of it, back on out. So now Long has to do all that work all over again to try and close in that gap. A little bit of lap traffic out in front of our race leaders here. The guy that led a few laps here early here, JT Batson, will get up and out of the way. It looks like the 906 will bring it down pit side, and should be interesting to see if he decides to get some repairs and maybe calls it a night, because already has been a little bit of race of attrition out here. As like I said, now 6 cars of the 18 that took the green flag have came down pit road under green flag conditions. Battle for third quickly over, as quick as it began, let's say, folks, as Tanner Tallarico has taken over that spot. Can Tallarico run down these leaders? He was about 2 seconds back from them, now within a second and a quarter on back. So Tallarico definitely running some better pace than the leaders. So it should be interesting. It's one thing, folks, to catch a car in front of you. It's a whole nother battle to go on and pass them here. As we saw Long kind of put pressure on Brooks, now it's starting to really fall off the pace from the 33 machine. So I don't know if Long is having an issue, if that car is going away, but he is way off the pace, and Tallarico gonna try and quickly jump on top of that. Tallarico now to the back bumper once again, looking to the inside of the 21 machine. Will drive it in there deep, tries to get clear, will get clear off of turn number 2. So Tanner Tallarico up into P number 2. Here comes Tim Rogers to trying to get around the 21 machine of Greggy Long. They'll go side by side here off of turn number 4. Almost make contact, but it looks like Rogers will clear the 21 machine. Man, oh man. Yeah, maybe if he took care of those tires just a little bit, it is paying off big time. Now Stephen Hoffman gonna join in the battle, and out in front, a new challenger to Justin Brooks, Tanner Tallarico, within 2 car lengths of the race leader here. Will stay just about 2 car lengths. How much tire did Justin Brooks save once we saw Greggy Long back on off, but now we'll have a whole bunch of cars on top of him here, as Tallarico now within 1 car length of our race leader. But Tallarico has to be careful because he has a very quick Tim Rogers closing the gap Same with the 86 of Stephen Hoffman. But if there's one guy that hasn't been passed too often, it is this guy out here in front, Justin Brooks, who is currently leading the way out here tonight. He is going to be probably one of, if not the toughest people to pass out here on a short track. This time by, we will start lap 50, so about 75 laps more to go here tonight. How will these drivers fare on out? We already see some cars slipping through the field, slipping off the pace, that being the 21 machine of Long. He has already backed down to 5th, and it looks like we'll lose some more spots as this time slower than Coyer, who sits behind him. Same with Stephen Rochefort, sitting 2 cars behind the 21 machine. Out in front though, Justin Brooks continues to lead the way as this top 4 starting to close on up and get oh so closer. So before we get a battle for this race lead, let's do a little side by side and a little turn 3, turn it up before we get this battle going for this top 4 positions. Some awesome stuff there, folks, and don't look anywhere here because we got a battle for the top 3 here. As Stephen Hoffman has taken over 3rd, has quickly got to the back bumper of the 1 car of Tallarico, so it is going to be a 3-horse race for this race lead as we approach the halfway point here tonight. Hoffman will look to the inside of Tallarico, won't quite have the run. Let's ride on board with the roof of Stephen Hoffman and see what he is seeing out in front of him here. Hoffman running a really good line there, right on that inside black seam. That is right where you want to be, at least getting on the throttle. So Tallarico and Brooks running a little bit lower there in at least 3 and 4, and in 1 and 2 here. Oh, Brooks will miss the middle lane just a little bit. That'll allow these other guys to gain just a little bit of ground as they come up to lap Ron Hart and then maybe Ace Hart as well. So what will lap traffic do? How much of a factor will they be as these leaders will try and catch those guys as well? Hart right in front of our race leader here. He has to go and probably get up out of the way in a few laps, if not this lap, as Brooks right there on the back bumper of the 51 machine will get to the outside of him down the front stretch here. And Justin Brooks will put the 51 machine 1 lap down here right before the halfway point. Further on back though, Stephen Rochefort does get up into the top 5, does get around Zach Coyer, as we see the leaders get around the 51 machine, last week's winner. So Hart involved in the first lap incident. That damage definitely affecting that 51 machine, as we see now the pass being completed by the 66. Further on back, Dave Payton gets around Greggy Long as way falling off the pace, as we see the guy that led the field to green Jay Dunnigan down on pit road here right before the halfway point. So Dunnigan might call it an end of the race. Same with the 145 of Ace Hart. He is down on pit road too. Got a chance to talk with him last week here with interviewing Ron. That was very, very cool to do. So now that only puts Ron Hart one lap down and TJ Hansen, the next car, in danger. But Hansen way in front of the race leaders here as Stephen Hoffman gets a nose to the outside of Tallarico. Hoffman able to complete the pass there, and I think Tallarico said, you know what, let's see what you have to get around the 33 machine here. So last time by here at the start finish line, we saw the cross flags halfway down, halfway home in race number 7 here at IRP. Justin Brooks continuing to lead the way here. Stephen Hoffman now up into second. What does Hoffman have left in the tank? What more can he do to challenge Brooks, as we saw Tallarico quickly catch the 33 machine and then couldn't quite get around him, get enough of a run up to really make a move. Hoffman, though, has that dirt experience. He knows how to wheel race cars, especially in different grooves. He is trying something a little bit higher than most out on the racetrack. He's about a car length higher than Brooks through the corner, and he's carrying a little bit more momentum. You just got to wonder, how will those tires feel after a few more laps of that? As, oh man, caution flag out on the speedway right after the halfway point. And I think maybe Greggy Long might have been involved, or Jay Dunnigan. We'll have to see, as both those guys, maybe both of those guys involved in this one. So Dunnigan, I believe, out here on the fresh tires here in that number 6 up in lane number 2. We'll get, just a little bit sideways there. And Greggy Long will get into the left rear of the 6. That will slide him down in front of the field. They will lock it on down. Luckily, no cars making contact with the wall, but that could have been very, very bad. Here we go. We see a very, very busy pit road, as everyone down on pit road, probably to get 4 fresh tires and fill it up with fuel. No Justin Brooks, only right sides on the 33 machine. Looks like he is the only car to do that. Stephen Hoffman going to be away with only 2 tires on that car, I think, as well. As Hoffman kind of had a quick stop compared to most, 4 tires. I think he only took 2, as the left sides got jacked up but quickly put back down. As Tallarico out with 4 tires. Same with Tim Rogers, Stephen Roachford, Zach Hoyer, and I don't think Greggy Long pitted, because when the caution fell, the 21 machine and the 6 both got trapped behind the race leader. As Dave Payton staying out on the racetrack here. Did Payton take his tires already? Because I think that would have been the time to take tires if he didn't. So, interesting call by the 38 machine, staying on out there. Maybe he's gambling for a later caution. If he does get that, that 38 car could be sitting in a really, really good spot if he does have those tires sitting. So Dave Payton here leading the field to the restart. He will have choice of the inside or the outside lane. It looks like Payton will elect the inside lane here, as the 6 and the 21 machine will go around the pace car. So it is going to be Dave Payton, Justin Brooks here on the front row of restart number 3. Ron Hart was the lucky dog candidate, so the 51 machine back out on the racetrack onto the lead lap here. As here we go, the iRacing pace car here down on pit road, and it's going to be Dave Payton leading the field to the green flag. Payton on the loud pedal gets away with a pretty good start. As we go back to green flag racing, Brooks will slide just in front of Stephen Hoffman. Brooks will send it down to the inside of Dave Payton. They'll go side by side down the backstretch. Brooks down low, Payton up top. Brooks on those 2 fresh right side tires will get clear of the 38 machine. So Justin Brooks back out to the point here. Now we'll see what Payne can do to hold off the 86 machine of Stephen Hoffman. Hoffman will probably have to try and make quick work of the 38 machine, because now Brooks can go into tire saving mode just a little bit here at the start of this run on these fresher tires. Everyone running their own pace here, single filed out very quickly here after restart number 3. I think these guys just trying to put laps down, trying to click away the race. They know they are at least over halfway done in the race, but still a lot of racing left here, as still over 50 laps left in this one here tonight. Side-by-side battle now for P number 2 as Hoffman gets a good run down the front stretch. He will sail it into turn number 1. He will get clear of Dave Payton off of turn number 2. So Stephen Hoffman back up into P number 2 out here tonight. Now Payton will have pressure now from the 1 car of Tanner Tallarico. Last time by though, Justin Brooks, quickest lap of anyone out here on the racetrack. Brooks just threw down a 22:02. So he is almost in the 21.9s. I got to chat with him before the race here tonight, and that is what he wanted to do. Sadly missed qualifying, so we couldn't see what kind of lap the 33 would have put down, but an 02 in race pace is absolutely insane by anyone to throw down. And of course, who better it could be than Justin Brooks out here tonight. Further on back though, battle for third. Heat on up. Dave Payton now under big time fire from the 1 car of Tallarico. Tallarico's going to be big time loose off of turn number 4. He will hang on to that race car, but will kill that momentum just a little bit. Now going to go door number to door number down the backstretch, but Payton will pull ahead. Tallarico though has to be quick with this move, but also careful. Can't push it too much, because now here comes Stephen Rochford to the inside of Dave Payton. Is now a pass for P number 4 as Payton starting to bleed a few of those positions out here after leading the field to the green flag after that last restart. Payton now will slot into P number 5 here. We'll try and get in a rhythm. Right behind them, Tim Rogers, Zach Coyer goes side by side. This is the battle for 6th here. We saw Tim Rogers get away nicely at the start. Now that 48 car mired into big time traffic and doesn't quite have the pace, at least at the fire off. I wonder if Rogers saw the fall off that people had. Maybe going to take his time with this pace here and try and turn it up late in this one. Further on back though, it looks like Greggy Long, Ron Hart trying to duke it out. This was battle for 8th here. Long, of course, on those old tires, could not pit because he had to take that wave around Ron Hart with that damage. And right now, the pace of both those race cars pretty even between the 2 of them with the old tires and the damage. So that's what keeps these 2 cars kind of close to each other here tonight. Out in front though, Justin Brooks leads about a 2.25 seconds. Then that same kind of advantage for Stephen Hoffman over P number 3, Tanner Tallarico. Then Tallarico about half a second back sits Stephen Rochford in 4th, and then Zach Coyer has rebounded back inside the top 5. Coyer sits P number 5 here. Tim Rogers was able to get around Dave Payton for P number 6, so Payton will probably hang on to this position here for quite a while here. Has a little bit of gap to Ron Hart and Greggy Long behind him. These cars right now, best battle on the speedway all through this pack here, and with everyone kind of single filed on out. Let's throw it on back, let the cars do a little bit more talking once again with our second turn 3 turn it up of the night. as we get our fourth caution of the night during that turn 3, turn it up there. So we will try and figure out what happened. I believe it involved the 21 machine of Greggy Long. So let's take a look here, see what happened to bring out caution number 4 of the night. So Long out here with the 41 machine of Hanson here, kind of close on by. We will have to see what happened as Long just kind of lost the right rear there into turn number 3. We'll turn that thing on around, come to a stop, and I think everyone will get clear of the 21, not make contact with him. So Long gonna find something good there. We'll have a chance to pit. Same with the 38 of Dave Payne. Ron Hart will be down, try and get some more repairs done, and Greggy Long gonna be out there with fresh tires. So it's gonna be really, really interesting to see how Dave Payton and Greggy Long can get through the field here tonight. Payton coming on down, looks like we'll take left sides this time. Let's see if he will end up taking right sides as well. It looks like maybe not for the 38, just going to fill it up with fuel, it looks like. As, he will go away only left side. So, did take those right sides at an earlier time. Greggy Long here, right sides went up on the 21 machine. Now the left side's going on up as he will go rolling out of his pit stalls. So, it's going to be really interesting to see what the 21 machine of Greggy Long can do here. After that self-spin into turn number 3, we'll have the freshest 4 tires out on the racetrack. I believe we'll restart about Pete number 9. So he definitely has a chance to get through this field with about 40 laps left in this one here tonight. Alrighty, so there's the call there from the 33 machine. Maybe a little bit of a fake out, maybe a little bit of a late decision, but Justin Brooks gonna choose the inside lane here on restart number 4. So it's gonna be Brooks, Hoffman on the front row of restart number 4 of the night, inside of 40 laps to go. So now at this point for this field, they know it starts to get close to a shootout point left in this one here tonight. Justin Brooks here leads the cars inside of the restart zone. Brooks now on the loud pedal. He gets away with a great restart out in front of the field. And we go back to green flag racing here with about 35 laps to go. Justin Brooks away and in front. Stephen Hoffman will hang on to P number 2. Tanner Tallarico will slam the door shut on Stephen Roach for P number 3. So top 5 going to be single filed on out here at the moment. Like I said, the car, we got to keep it on here. This 21 machine, how quickly can he get through the field? He is on those fresh tires with about 35 laps to go. Has a long distance to make on up, but like I said, can go probably anywhere he wants to out on the racetrack. Tanner Tallarico, a little bit of a moment there off of turn number 4. Had to kind of catch that race car just a little bit to either prevent it from hitting the wall or getting a little bit loose. That allows Stephen Roachford to close on up just that little bit more to the back bumper of that yellow number 1. Roachford, it's been a little bit of time since he was up on the podium here in the late model stocks. Gonna try and do that here tonight. He sits in a great spot here, but he has to make quick work because now Zach Coyer starting to put some pressure on the back bumper of the 66. Further on back here, TJ Hansen under fire from Greggy Long. That is a battle for the 9th position here, as Long trying to get around the 41 machine here off turn number 4. Long has the advantage through the middle of the corner here, but 41 will have the momentum a little bit of door banging, a little bit of door contact, as now Hansen gets put in the wall there into turn number 3 from that. Oh, Hansen will clobber the wall then off of turn number 4, so that 41 machine probably not going to be the happiest camper after the end of this one here. Now Greggy Long sets his sights on the 51 machine. That 51 last week's winner at South Boston, so Long going to try and work on around him here. There goes side by side and contact between the two of them as Ron Hart, Greggy Long, I think a little bit of net code, but man, that was very, very close on the entry of turn number 1. Way closer than it probably should have been. We will take a look once again, see what happened between the two of them. But yeah, you can see here going into turn number 1, Greggy Long trying to stay as close as possible. Kind of a late entry, Ron Hart a little bit earlier, and then net code. As you see, the cars didn't actually make contact, but that sent them on around. And yeah, just way too hard racing here. But I guess it's about time to start turning it up. But I mean, for racing where they are in the pack, I don't think we need to be doing that. So with that, Ron Hart falls to P number 10 here. Greggy Long up into P number 8. Then up in front still has stayed the same. Tanner Talarico trying to hold off Stephen Rochford. Then Rochford trying to hold off Zach Coyer, as these cars all under a blanket here with closing up to 25 laps to go here tonight. Stephen Rochford has a good run down the backstretch. We'll look to the inside of the number 1 machine. Can't quite get it to stick on corner entry. We'll have to concede that position. Further on back here, Long working over Dave Payton. Greggy Long now up into P number 7 out here tonight. We'll get around the 38 machine here, so has quite a bit of distance to the 48 of Tim Rogers. But still, anything can happen now. With about 26 laps to go, next time by, we go into our countdown clock of 25 to go next time by. Justin Brooks keeping that gap to about a 1.25 seconds over Stephen Hoffman. Hoffman actually able to grow his lead over Tanner Talarico to about a 1.5 seconds, as that kind of sits the gap between the two of them. And then, of course, Rochford, Boyer right there as well, waiting for any of these 3 drivers to make a mistake. So far, all of them have been on their game, but with 25 to go, they know the sand is running out of the hourglass here. Each lap that clicks on by. Last time by 4 lap times. Man, I don't know what Justin Brooks figured out, but he just put down a 22.15. Everyone else in the either low 22.4s or the high 22.4s. Let's ride on. Let's see what Justin Brooks is doing. See if he does it again out here tonight. As a 22.25 last time by. As yeah, Brooks is figuring out something. He is absolutely flying out here late in this one. Maybe he just said, you know what, it's time to turn up the wick. Let's see what the car has. And apparently it has a lot more juice to squeeze out of this 33 machine. That time by watching that lap, Brooks at 22.23. So yeah, he is absolutely flying, figuring out some pace. Stephen Hoffman, though, is starting to figure out something as well. A 22.30 from the 86 machine. But here are some of the best battles on the speedway. Like I said, these 3 cars right here. Then right behind them, you can see kind of out of the corner of our eye, Tim Rogers starting to get hunted down by Greggy Long. Long now looks to the inside of the 48 machine. This is a battle for P number 6 here down the backstretch. Long has the nose to the inside of Rogers. Rogers just has to keep that momentum, tries to make something work right in front of them. Zach Coyer gets the nose to the outside of the 66. They go side by side here. They continue to be side by side down the backstretch. Zach Coyer, if he can hit his marks here, I think should be able to get around the 66 machine, but Man, Roachford right in that preferred line, able to squeak clear of Coyer through the middle of the corner. Man, some great time driving by these three drivers, but they have to be careful because Greggy Long has cleared Tim Rogers, and Greggy Long is on pace for a top 5 here before it's all said and done. That time by the 33 machine sees 18 laps to go here tonight, so we start to get into the twilight era of this race, starting to get towards the end of things, but here for 3rd, 4th, 5th, and maybe 6th here in just a few laps, it's about to get wild as both Tallarico and Roachford will graze the wall there off turn number 4. These guys definitely pushing their race cars to the limit, trying to get every inch of the racetrack that they can. Both of them a little bit sideways there off of turn number 2. These boys are wheeling these race cars at the end of this one. So the front two starting to pull on away quite a bit. 3 seconds for Justin Brooks over Stephen Hoffman. Then it is 3 seconds for Hoffman over Tallarico. But Tallarico now has 3 cars in his rearview mirror as Greggy Long has joined on in the battle. So let's ride on board with Tallarico looking back at this battle that sits behind him here with about 15 or so laps to go. Here comes Greggy Long on those newer tires to the inside of Zach Coyer. Coyer will get the wall, will trade a little bit of paint with Greggy Long, but Long can make that inside line roll with those fresher tires way better than the cars around him. He's able to now get side by side with Stephen Roachford. That is a battle for P number 4. Oh, Long will wash up just a little bit. Him and Roachford will make contact there, but everyone will keep it facing the right direction. But man, some hard racing late in this one to try and settle things on up. Zach Coyer saw how Greggy Long was able to get around the 66. Now we'll do the same. So Zach Coyer up into the top 5. Stephen Roachford tries to cross over. Won't have anything doing that time by. Out in front though, leaders into some lap traffic here. Justin Brooks trying to get around Dunn again, and now maybe Ace Hart as well. Ace Hart will get down to the bottom side, up and out of the way here, so Justin Brooks will have clean and green track. That time by, we saw 2 open homes from the flagman. 10 to go, now make it 9 to go. Here comes Greggy Long trying to end up on the podium. He will try and get around the 1 car of Tallarico in these final 9 laps. And if anything happens between the 1 or the 21, the 13 of Zach Coyer sits there right there in the wings. In case anything happens, he sits right in the catbird seat here. Long with a great run off turn number 4. He's able to drive even. Will Long sail it down in there? No, he won't. But he will get on the throttle early. Greggy Long will get clear. He will slam the door shut on Tallarico into turn number 3. Greggy Long up into a podium spot. He will go back onto the race lead. Was the lucky dog, I should say the wave around candidate, 2 cautions ago. He is back up into the podium here with 7 to go. Now Stephen Roachford under fire from Tim Rogers. So that 66 machine continued to lose some pace just a little bit. You wonder if he got some damage from that wall or if those tires just starting to fall on off. As now here comes Tim Rogers to try and get back 6th position before the end of this one. Rogers will have the advantage here through the middle of the corner at the apex and down the backstretch, half a car length in front. Rogers here just has to get on the throttle nice and easy, be able to wrap that line, and he should be clear as no, but still up ahead is the 48 car. So now Rogers will get clear out of the corner of my eye. Here we go. Zach Coyer, Tanner Tallarico side by side with 4 laps to go. Man, oh man, some great late race battles through the field here to end things on off. As Tallarico, Coyer go door number to door number into turn number 1. Coyer will wash up the track just a little bit. Can Tallarico defend up top for 3.5 more laps? Justin Brooks out away in his own zip code. Once again, these two make a little bit of contact on corner entry here. They continue side by side. And yeah, we saw Tim Rogers way off the pace on that restart. I think that was planned because that 48 car hauling the mail, and with these cars side by side, he is quickly catching them. As this time by here at the stripe, Justin Brooks will see popsicle sticks. He will be a lap and a half away as this battle continues to rage on. We'll take a look at this battle off of turn number 4 once it's all said and done. But this time at the stripe, Justin Brooks will see the white flag. 1 more lap to go, as it looks like Tallarico will have the advantage over Coyer. Just has to put in another lap here, but where will Tim Rogers go? Justin Brooks here through 3 and 4 for the final time. And off of turn number 4, when Justin Brooks is in the race for the checkered, he picks up the win. We'll pick up another win here tonight. As here down the backstretch, what happened in 3 and 4? Tallarico back to 6. Zach Coyer up into 4th. Tim Rogers able to sneak out a top 5 when it's all said and done. Wow, what happened there? We will take a look here into turn number 1, see what happened as Zach Coyer to the inside of Tanner Tallarico, and just let's see what happened here. Oh, it looks like using the lap car of Ace Hart as a pick. That was able to slow the 1 car of Tallarico up just enough to lose those 2 spots. But out in front here tonight on the front stretch, Justin Brooks burning it on down. And I believe when it's all said and done, I want to say, man, that is Justin Brooks. Let's see if I have some numbers in front of me here, but I feel like that's Justin Brooks is like, yeah, I believe 6th win here in ASRC. So we will be chatting with our top 3 here in just one moment. So don't go anywhere, folks. The post-race show just about to begin. We will chat with our top 3 finishers. So like I said, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Alrighty, we are not doing a turn 3 turn it up because we got our post race show, and the first driver we'll be talking to tonight is our third place finisher, that being the 21 machine of Greggy Long. Greggy, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here. Greggy, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Yes, sir. What's up, Brett?
Alrighty, my man. How are we feeling after a long 125 laps here at IRP?
Oh, what a race. That's all I can say. We had a good car. We realized we were using a little too much fuel there with a little bit to go. So we tried saving. Car came out of the pits with fresh tires. I don't know what happened between the two of us, but we made contact, so I couldn't pit and take tires early when everybody else did. So we tried winging it, and it just got too loose on us, spun out. I had to go to the back of the pack, and I don't know how we ended up here.
Yeah, I tell you what, we'll start at the end and make our way forward. But yeah, that right rear had to be almost gone, man, because yeah, you went in that corner and that thing just snapped around, similar to what we saw last week with Tanner Tallarico. Once that right rear said, you know what, we had enough, sayonara.
Oh, yeah, man, I just got on the brakes, and as soon as I touched the brakes, it just got sideways on me. I was trying to feel my right rear out because it felt like it was going out. And down the straightaways, I was kind of swerving back and forth to see if it was still there because I didn't want to blow it into a corner, get sideways, and have a blown tire and hit the wall or do something like that. So I'm just glad I was able to lock her down and get back going.
Yeah, luckily all the other cars, looking past their hood pins, able to miss you there because that could have been very bad for you.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I didn't really see who was around me, but I know it was definitely scary, and I was hoping nobody hit me, and I was hoping I didn't go a lap down from that.
Yeah, luckily you didn't able to get those 4 fresh tires, and that seemed to be a game changer because even though it seemed like the fire off was a little bit slow for you, you're able to pick off cars and run lanes that it seemed like most other drivers couldn't there at the end.
Oh, yeah, see, these tires were good for about 40 laps, so and there was 39 laps left at when I had spun out and had to pit. So I figured that if I just babied them a little bit, I'd have a little more drive off and through the center of the corner on Tanner and them guys that were racing hard for position. So kind of just waited and settled for what we could do. We couldn't really do much. We weren't going to catch Justin after that situation, so we were just trying to settle for a top three, and here we are. We ended up here.
Yeah, that you did a great recovery here by you tonight, Greggy, to end up on the podium. Yeah, but talk about Chase and Justin. It seemed like you two were on just rails to start the race, and then it seemed like this 21 car quickly fell off a cliff. Was it that magic kind of like you said before, that 40 lap mark that it just started to really plummet on the drive off and the handling?
Well, to be honest, before everything happened there, I was gonna try and run a one tire phase and stay on one tire and reel them guys in with about 40 to go, but tires went a lot faster than I thought they would. I was trying to get Justin to burn his stuff up a little bit there, and then when that caution came out, it kind of screwed me there. So I just had to settle, and then that caution ended up having me involved. So we had to stay out. We couldn't pick because we were going to be a lap. So we just held on and somehow are in here in top three. So
Yep, and pretty good finish, all things considered. Come on back and pick up right where you left off. I like to say, Greggy here with a great run here tonight, and looking forward to the schedule. Some other tricky tracks up on the schedule: Richmond, North Wilkesboro, New Smyrna, Kern County. How are we feeling with the rest of the tracks on the schedule here this season?
honestly, I'm ready for the long race at Kern. but I'm most excited for New Smyrna. That's one of my stronger tracks. So we're looking a few weeks ahead right now. So as long as we can finish solid until then, I might be able to snag me a win. We'll see. It depends. Justin's always tough to beat. If it was for him, I wouldn't have such a good looking car to run with on here. He does great with his paint schemes. So, if it wasn't for him, I'm not gonna be stingy about it. He beats me. He beats me. He's got like 11,000 I rating. So he's one of the best in the world on his short track asphalt.
Oh, that he is. He is definitely some of the class of the world, like you said, Greggy, to come out here and race. And to beat him definitely is a special day, but you were definitely keeping him honest here to kick off the race here. And, besides the racing, the virtual racing throughout the week, you got some fun stuff playing on the weekend, still out there racing the real life stuff. So, what's the game plan for the rest of the season when it comes to, turning left in the real world these days?
Well, so this weekend we're gonna run the truck. We got a little bit beat up last week on our way to the front, and we're gonna go back out and shake the truck out this weekend and shake it down and see if everything's back to where it should be. We've been struggling because I was wrecked at the beginning of the year. Then here in a few weeks, hopefully we have a late model. We hopefully we'll get that back out. It's those things are tough to compete, so we were just trying to get our stuff right and be able to come out because Owasso has one of the toughest sportsman classes in the world. I'd say there's not many more guys that race sportsmen other than like CRA and ASA. I think we have one of the toughest sportsman classes out there.
Oh yeah, I would agree with that, Greggy. Especially as a weekly track and not a traveling series. I'd say, a while. So pretty much any of the classes that's showing up, are some of the top line for your local short track that's not a traveling series.
Oh yeah, definitely. Rex Wheeler's doing a great job at Owasso Speedway, and um, there's countless amount of guys that can win out there. They start 24 cars in a feature, and 24 cars can win. Throughout the field, we're about a half second, I'd say, from first to 24th. So, um, it's anybody's day. It just depends on who goes to the track, who does their homework, and who has the best car for the conditions of the track. And that's what makes it fun. You're racing door to door with some of the top sportsman drivers in the country, and you got the Jack brothers from Indiana and some guys like that, and it's fun to race with them. So hopefully we can get the late model out here soon and see what we can do in that sucker.
Yeah, hopefully I'm excited to see that thing make its return. But here tonight, Greggy, able to end on the podium. So once again, big congratulations to you to rebound to a P number 3. So before we let you go and celebrate the race here tonight, I'm going to go hand over the mic to you and have you thank who you got to thank, whether sponsors, teammates, or anyone else you want to give a shout out to on the broadcast here tonight.
Yeah, well, first I'd like to thank Justin Brooks. He knocked it out of the park with this paint scheme. And if you need any paint schemes on here, just hit Justin Brooks Designs up, man. He does a great job, and he does a lot of the iRacing World cars. So yeah, Justin Brooks is an amazing guy. He's friendly. He'll talk to anybody, and most importantly, he'll coach you up, which he kind of coached me up today, and it might have backfired on him if we could have had a good run there. But it's I'd like to thank Dwayne Young. He came in and he spotted for me tonight, so he kind of helped me through the emotions and kept me on the right track to finish where I finished today.
Alrighty, well, awesome stuff, Greggy, and yeah, those supporting casts always, help out a lot, especially as a driver. We go through a lot of emotions throughout the wheel, so it always helps. So, Greggy, here tonight, you can finally sigh relief, come back with some good emotions because you're able to end up on the podium with a tough racetrack, tough car combo. So here tonight, my man, feel good and have yourself a great rest of the night. Congrats on the P number 3.
Yes, you too. I missed one. Most importantly, I'd like to thank you guys for broadcasting this league. Usually it's one of the toughest leagues, but since it's summertime, it's kind of tough to get the guys that are in the real world racing on here during the week because they're wrenching on their cars trying to get faster for that next weekend. So yeah, I'd like to thank you guys and everybody who's watching.
All righty. Appreciate the shout out, Greggy. And you, my man, thanks again for you taking time out of the week. Come out here and put on a show that all of us can enjoy. So, you, my man, have yourself a great rest of the week. And yeah, I'm sure we'll be talking to you again here in the future.
Yes, sir. You guys have a good 4th of July. Everybody watching, everybody broadcasting. Have yourselves a good weekend.
Yeah, thank you. You as well. Go celebrate the good old 4th. It's going to be a good one.
Oh, for sure, for sure. All right. Later, Brett.
All righty. We'll see you later, Greggy. That is our Pete number 3 finisher, Greggy Long in the 21 machine. Now we'll head up to our 2nd place finisher, that being the 86 of Stephen Hoffman. Stephen, you got a copy. It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Hey, Brett, how's it going?
Pretty good, my man. How are we feeling after a long 125 laps here tonight? You're able to walk away with the runner-up finish and a decent amount of speed once again. And we see 2 weeks in a row from the 86 machine.
Yeah, we're pretty happy with it. Seems like things are finally starting to go our way. We were involved in that first or second caution. Just had to calm down a little bit after that, and the first couple restarts were hectic, and just had to get settled in and work my way up there.
Yeah, that you did, and took your time, managed. It seemed like these tires really, really well because, especially after those 2 quick initial cautions, that long green flag run we had after, that 86 car looked really, really fast. Seemed like kind of on pace with Justin Brooks. Would lose a little bit of time here or there, but starting to check out from the entire field behind. So it was impressive to see once again here tonight from you, Steven.
Yeah, once we got going, I seen Tanner was starting to pull on me a little bit, and Justin and Greggy were so far up there. I was like, let's just settle in. I seen Tanner was starting to catch Tim, so I just kept my same pace. And once Tanner caught Rogers there, he kind of slowed up a little bit, and I was really starting to roll the middle really good. So I think that helped out a bunch. And then I don't know if Greggy and Justin burned their stuff up real fast, but I just kind of kept the same moderate pace, had the spotter telling me my lap times, and was keeping it really consistent, and it paid off.
Yeah, that it did. And then after that, you get up to second, kind of running that pace. And then once again, we see that caution flag mid-race. You come on down, and I was kind of intrigued by your pit stop because it wasn't quite quick enough for a 2-tire stop, but it wasn't long enough for a 4-tire stop. So was it a 2-tire stop you ended up doing? And maybe some fuel? What was the game plan there once you came down pit road?
We just kind of flew it by ear. We was really seeing what Justin was doing. He's pretty good at this stuff, so I figured if he's doing it, it's got to work. So we called for 4 and then possible 2, and I seen his car drop, and he left. We got a splash of fuel and just took right sides only.
Gotcha. Yeah, so you and Brooks, only right sides, but by the end of the day, you two finisher 1 and 2, so it definitely seemed to work out. How'd the car feel after the 2 tires?
After that initial restart, the car felt really good, and I seen Justin was hammered down, and I wanted to lay back a little bit because my luck, there's always that last caution with 10 to go or so, and we never got it. And I think where I slowed the pace down a little bit, I burnt the right front up quicker than I did the right rear, not getting on it so fast coming out of the corners, and then it started to push there pretty bad toward the end, and I seen we had like a 5-second gap to third, so at that point we were just riding her out.
Yeah, that you did. You're able to check out once again from all the cars behind you. So yeah, Steven, it seemed like you had some great pace. Of course, last week, had some great pace. That race, I feel like, was kind of stolen from you because it seemed like you had the car to beat. Didn't quite have the finish, but then you rebound with a great finish in the street stocks, and you carry that momentum here tonight. So it's got to be feeling pretty good after all that last week, the ups and downs of racing, right?
Oh yeah, you got to take it with the weaves and flows. Justin's pretty hard to beat here, or anywhere really in the late model stocks. He's pretty good. So I guess we got beat by the best and better than the rest.
Yeah, that you were. You had some great pace here, and yeah, if Brooks had any sort of mistake, whether with lap traffic or maybe had that disconnect like we saw last week, you're definitely the class to beat. So to run second than him, I would say, feels like a win in most people's books, and I'm sure yours as well.
Oh, for sure.
All righty, Steven. Well, it was great talking to you, and, what'd you kind of figure out to, find some pace here tonight? We saw a lot of guys kind of running that seam, and when you kind of got to Brooks, it seemed like you're running a car length above. Did you were you trying to find something up there, or did you already find something that you were maybe saving in your back pocket? Because I thought that was really intriguing. It seemed like you were making it work pretty good. I said, maybe that's the dirt driver and you coming on out, trying some different lanes, seeing what's out there.
Yeah, once I got the Tanner, like I said earlier, I realized I could roll the center a lot better, so I just kept rolling it in a little bit more and more on the top. And then I could just roll the middle really good before we got tires. And then that last little bit, there's a seam there, 1 and 2 on the bottom. And if you set the right sides up on it, it would rotate really good. So just kind of playing the layout of the track and seeing which worked best for it.
Yeah, and I tell you what, you are finding some speed out here tonight. A great run for you. So I know you tend to make a few starts in the street stock. How's this week looking for the 86 machine? Do you think you're going to make tonight, or will we see you back next week at Richmond?
After tonight, I'm going to see if I can pull some strings and make a start.
Yeah, I was going to say, because, these tracks seem to be right in your wheelhouse. These kind of tricky tracks here. Seems like it fits right to your driving style.
Yeah, I want to say a couple years ago when we ran the ARCA cars here, I got my first win with the ASRC in the ARCA cars here.
Yeah, that's a throwback there, and I think you're right, Steven, as well, because, I think way back in the day you did do that. And, speaking about tricky tracks, we still got some fun tracks on the schedule. Richmond, North Wilkesboro, USA, where else? New Smyrna, and Kern. Any of those tracks took your fancy? I know Kern probably circled on your calendar, right?
Yeah, we got a Kern. We got a victory there last year. I love North Wilkesboro. If we can get stuff to go our way, we're usually in the top 5 or so, but something goofy usually ends up happening to us. So I'd say Kern and North Wilkesboro I'm looking pretty forward to. I got a win at Richmond. Maybe it was last year on a fuel strategy. Again, I think I ended up getting you and in the super late model, so that's a good one too.
Yeah, that it is, and that one always puts on a great show. You picked up a win at Kern, Richmond, as well as Talladega and Bristol, looks like, in the league stuff for official races. So, I'm sure all those tracks, some good ones still on the schedule for you, my man.
Yep, let's hope we can keep the momentum up. I don't think JJ was here. Ron had bad luck there at the very beginning, and Tanner dropped down to 6th, it looks like. So hopefully we picked away pretty good at the points.
Yeah, and I think you did, a little bit picking away because, coming into tonight, I think you're either second or third, but leaving here, you now come out second in points, Steven. So, like you said, if you can keep that momentum, it's going to be an exciting points race to the end of this one.
Yep, it'll be pretty exciting unless Justin comes out here and wins the rest of them and squeezes right beside Tanner and I. But I don't know. I think I was in 4th or 3rd, just a couple of points behind Ron. But it's going to be a good rest of the season, hopefully.
Yeah, that it is. We're excited to see how things shake on out. But it's Steven here tonight. Another great run for the 86. So before we let you go and celebrate the runner-up finish, I'm going to go hand over the mic to you and thank who you got to thank, whether sponsors, teammates, or anyone else you want to give a shout out to here tonight on the broadcast.
Shout out to Postma Flooring for helping out with the league, and you guys for broadcasting over at Turn 3, for everything that you do. Tanner, Andrew, and David, the rest of the admins. I think we got Jolie and Sons Plumbing, my work. They help us out in the real life too. We got Racers for Christ. And then shout out to whoever's watching us. I'm pretty sure Mom and Dad, maybe my brother Kyle, are watching broadcasts. So thanks for everybody puts on a good, or watches us put on a good show, hopefully.
Yeah, and Steven, I got to thank you for coming out here, spending your weeknights with us, and being part of the show that we all get to enjoy. So, Steven, you have yourself a great rest tonight. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. If not, we'll see you next week at Richmond.
Yep, sounds good. We'll see you, Brett.
Alrighty, folks. That was our runner-up finisher in the 86, Steven Hoffman. Now we'll head up to the winner of tonight's race. It is the 33 machine. That is Justin Brooks. Justin, you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Yes, sir. What's going on?
Alrighty, man. So first and foremost, how are we feeling after 125 laps? And your PC made it here tonight through the end.
Oh, yeah, feeling good. I honestly wish it was about another 30, 40 laps, 'cause I feel like my car was really starting to come into a groove there at the end. I was riding around that last run for the most part. And when I pushed it some, I mean, it was pretty good besides bottoming out in turn one. I went back and looked at a replay, and I'm surprised I still had a front bumper as hard as I was hitting the track when I was selling off on the one. But still getting around there and making some time and had really good tires. And, I mean, that would have been fun to go the rest of the way. I mean,
Yeah, it looked like it was a blast to be out here tonight. You know, a little bit of sketchy moments with some lap cars, but overall, Justin able to walk away with the win. And yeah, speaking about how to drive these cars, I mean, yeah, there's that big bump in turn number one. These things, of course, right on the ground. It seems like most places where it goes with these bump stops. So, I mean, yeah, it's got to not be the most fun going into the corner, kind of trusting it. Then all of a sudden, no grip, and then all of a sudden, super loaded and all that stuff. So, I'm sure it was a handful here, but I'm excited to hear you're hoping for a longer race here tonight.
oh yeah, I mean, like I said, I was honestly hoping that first stint we had before that yellow around lap 60 or something was going to go green to the end. I was managing my tires big time out front. Greggy was all up on me, and I ended up missing during the race. And I was like, "You better check your fuel." Next thing you know, he backed it off because he told me he was 10 laps short. And at that point, I was only like 3 laps short, just trying to save gas. And by the time we had that yellow, I was only half a lap short, so I'd have been good going to the end. I don't know about them guys. As fast as they were going, I was trying to clutch it going in the corner, not use brakes as well, and not go full throttle down the straightaway, but also try to keep the lead at the same time. So it was kind of tricky doing that. I had to push it some laps more than I wanted to just to put a little bit of gap on them and go back to riding. But like I said, that would have been real fun to go to the end. I feel like we would have really checked out there as good as my tires were at that caution.
Yeah, and I was kind of wondering in the booth, didn't think that fuel was going to be as big of a factor as it was, but yeah, I guess with you drivers keeping an eye on everything, that's why the pace kind of backed on off. And I was pretty impressed when Talarico and Hoffman kind of caught you. You know, you're able to keep that pace and keep that kind of 2 car length buffer. And like you said, I guess it was all about saving that fuel and managing that pace. And you did a great job with that here tonight.
Oh yeah, like I said, if they were going to push the pace even more, 'cause I seen Steven get up to second, I was just going to let him go. Then about another 10, 15 laps in, when I was about 2 or 3 laps to the good or so, about a pace I was going there, I was just going to go right back by him and try to drive off if it would have went green, obviously. But that didn't happen, so that's just a fictional scenario. So it was, like I said, fun to come down and take tires and actually start to go there at the end. I rode for the most part during that last stage just in case of a yellow, and like I said, the last probably 7, 8 laps, I probably went about 95% to see what the car had, and I was just like, well, screw it. If we got a yellow here, I mean, I feel like they burned their tires up the way they were falling back. I don't know what was going on with them guys back in third, but they were slipping and sliding. It looked like in the mirror when I could see them, and looking at the intervals, they were really falling off. So I don't know if they burned their stuff off or just racing hard, but they were struggling back there a little bit.
Yeah, I think they definitely burned their stuff off. So it's very, very impressive to see the pace you had throughout that run and to keep that throughout. And like you said, Justin, you know, fired on off a 22:02. I'm sure you wanted that 21:9, but also close to that. And then as well as that, like you said, when you started turning up, I saw a 22, I think 1:5 with about 30 laps to go, and it blew my mind up in the booth. I said, "What is he doing?" And we took the camera even to you, and it looked like no different than how you were driving before. Like you said, you must have just turned up that pace, like you said, just to see what it had, and still had a lot more juice left to squeeze in this one.
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to see what it had, and like I said, I tried there at the end, even though the car was a little snug and hitting the track, and I think I hit a 22 or 21 with about, I like to say 7 or 8 laps to go, and I backed it down to high twos, just conserving the right front a little bit. So I mean, it had a lot of speed in it if you drove it right. You had to hit that seam just right, and if you could hit that seam and get the right rear a little sideways, but also manage the throttle where you're keeping the car straight, it would just glide through the corner. It felt like a grip strip almost, as they call it.
Yeah, I bet it probably, you know, was that perfect one, but I'm sure if you're inches off of it, right, you're paying for it big time.
Oh yeah, like I said, it would shove the nose just a little bit. It would eventually come around, but it wouldn't like if you hit that seam just right. Like I said, it just glided around there. It's like I was trying to paint that seam like Kevin Harvick would do at Atlanta back in the day. He was always really good about riding that white line better than everybody else, and I was just trying to put myself in his shoes there, I guess, with hitting that mark every lap.
Yeah, I tell you what, you did a great job with that here. And I think with this win here tonight, it puts you just outside of the top 10 of the most winning drivers here in ASRC. And I think I'm sure one guy you kind of know of a little bit in the short track world. I think this win here tonight ties you with one of the OG members of ASRC, Josh Cottle, with 6 wins of your career. And right now, Justin, I think you have about 6 or 7 starts under your books. So, I mean, way ahead of the curve when it comes to all things said and done, right?
Oh yeah, Josh is a buddy of mine. He's a great guy, really fast driver. So I mean, that's pretty cool to be up there right with him already, and hopefully I can add some more to it. I thought we had it. I thought we had it in the bag Sobo last week after I took the lead because I mean I was driving through the field and conserving my right rear and watching everybody slip and slide because I knew as hot as the track was starting off, it wasn't going to cool down. Looking at the weather before the race, I was like, these guys are going to kill our right rear the way they were driving it, like as sideways they're getting. And next thing you know, boom, computer shut off going into three. And yeah, got that fixed. I believe, knock on wood. I haven't had any issues since then, and hopefully no more going forward. I might be able to show up most of the races. I don't know about every race, but I know I'll be able to show up looking at the schedule at maybe Richmond for sure, Wilkesboro. Well, yeah, maybe that's around my birthday. New Smyrna and Kern County. I'm looking forward to 150 laps at Kern. That's gonna be a blast. I love long races like that.
Yeah, that one's going to be really fun to watch, and I'm sure to even drive. I know a lot of people have that race circled with that being a longer one. And yeah, I think, Justin, the leaders even in points, probably sweating a little bit because if you make all the races, I think by the end of it, you could be right there in points. Not saying you have to make all of them, but, you could be definitely in the title fight with the races you're putting together when, this 33 turns on up and doesn't have those mechanical issues or whatnot, right?
Yeah, hopefully, like I said, I might be able to make them all. We'll see. I mean, it's like the big one's gonna be Wilkesboro because I love that. But like I said, it's around my birthday. I don't know what I'm gonna be doing then with the misses. So, if I can show up for that, I'll definitely be looking forward to that. Wilkesboro is one of my favorite tracks, especially if it's a little bit of a looser setup and you got to save right rear. That plays in my wheelhouse. So I'll be looking forward to that. Looking forward to New Smyrna. Looking forward to Kern. Those are really good tracks in this car for me, especially. So I mean, we'll see. Like I said, I mean, if I could show up for him, maybe we can go up there and get the championship. Even with missing some races, that'd be pretty cool if we could do that. So I mean, we'll see. If I could show up, that'll be my goal.
Yeah, I tell you what, it would be awesome to see you to put together even a championship battle. I think even what have you missed so far? I think 2 races as well. So it's just impressive
Yeah.
to even be in the title fight with missing 2 races and no drop weeks with that as well.
I would love the drop week or two, or especially for South Boston and Bristol. I miss Dover as well. So I mean, like I said, if I can show up and at least be right there at the end, if I make all the races and be like just say top 3 in points, I think that'd be a pretty great season. With missing those races.
Yeah, I would agree with that as well. And I mean, just the stats this whole season have been very, very impressive, Justin. So we want to thank you for showing on up and be a part of it. But yeah, in the middle of summer right now, 4th of July this weekend. What have you been up to? I've been seeing, you dropping some really cool paint schemes, especially on the Gen 4, as well as what's Justin Brooks up to in the next coming weeks in the real life stuff. What's happening in your world these days?
Man, always staying busy with the iRace and the real life raps, anything graphic design. That's pretty much my full time gig. Anything graphic related, Monday through Friday. And got the weekends free, so usually spending that with the misses and then going to the racetrack, spotting. Go to a few different tracks. We won this past weekend. We won every race so far this season, and they make us add 25 pounds on the right side until we lose. So right now we're at 150 pounds right side extra weight. So we'll see how that works out next race. It's not fun to setting up, putting on scales, and having to move weight around to try to readjust for that. But I mean, it is what it is. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Besides going out to eat with the old lady and hanging out with a few of the friends and stuff. It's just mainly being an adult, working and getting a little relaxation in when I'm not playing a little bit of iRacing. So
Hey, there you go. And hopefully sometimes iRacing is relaxing. I know it can't be sometimes, but hopefully overall, it is at the end of the day, right?
yeah, it's a lot of fun, especially in leagues, man. Like if you're out there and you don't run leagues much, like get into it. Like I prefer league over officials now. Like there's way less drama, more relaxed people. You ain't got to worry about your I rate and your safety rate and anything like that. Like it's a lot more fun, a lot more relaxed, longer races for sure. I mean, custom like fixed setups. You don't get that in officials. So I mean, especially ASRC. Like this is one of the premier short track leagues out there. If you're looking to run a street stock or a late model, check them out. I mean, like I said, it's a lot of fun, and I ain't saying that just to say that because I'm talking to you. Like I really do enjoy this. Like leagues are so much fun to me, and I mean, the older I get, the more I realize that. Maybe not when I was younger, but now, I mean, that's just how it is for me. So I mean, I try to get on here and have a good time. If I'm not having a good time, I'm not going to be racing it. So I mean, I wouldn't be showing up if I wasn't having a good time over here. It's a pleasure racing with some of these guys. They race hard. They don't give me much room on the track. They give me just enough to try to make the pass, which I appreciate, and it's a pleasure racing against these guys each and every week.
Well, Justin, that is awesome to hear. Yeah, we appreciate you spending your time with us here. And yeah, I feel that same sentiment, especially as I got older and, the official race, I just feel like, just keep on going down in quality and whatnot. And it's just so refreshing to get on in a league with some guys that, one, have an understanding how to race. And then two, like you said, the longer races so people aren't go, go, go every single lap, and as well as the fixed setups that are a little bit looser, not just dump trucks every track you go to, right?
Yes, sir. Like I said, I mean, I've been doing this for a hot minute now. I started sim racing back my sophomore year in high school. I got a wheel for my birthday because I played NASCAR 2003 with a keyboard when it first came out. Played it for 4 years using a keyboard, just racing against AI, and got my wheel and was hooked to it since. And so, I mean, it's been a hobby of mine since 2007. I mean, it's been a long time. That's 18 years. It's crazy to think about. I've spent over half my life sim racing. So, I mean, it's at this point, I've pretty much like done it all when it comes to racing any games and stuff like that. So to be able to still find excitement and enjoyment this far into it, I mean, it's nice and refreshing. I never imagined racing this long back then. Never, I never thought of the future that long. Obviously, we're young, but I mean, it's like I said, it's still a blast. iRacing's the way to go. iRacing's obviously the best simulation out there when it comes to racing. Like especially like I said with this league and everything too, it just definitely brings the best out of me and brings the best out of a lot of people here, and it's like I said, refreshing to still able to have this far in.
Yeah, that it is, and part of your DNA. And I like to say, you get the real emotions of driving a real life car. Here on iRacing, the adrenaline gets going, and it really feels like you're out there wheeling a car, and you get locked in. And I like to say, get in the flow state where you can forget about everything else in life, and it's just you in this car against the track, pretty much at the end of the day.
Yeah, like I said, it's definitely close to a real life thing. The only thing different, there ain't no fights on here. You can just yell over Discord. There ain't no going back to the shop and fixing a car. You just press a button. So those things come in handy, and it's pretty nice. Considering I've worked on a real life car so many times, still do to this day, and it's definitely a gruel. You're out there in the hot 100 degree, 105 degrees, doing that when you can be just sitting in your room. Like I got it 68 degrees right now. Got a fan on me. Got a Mountain Dew sitting here in my cup holder. I mean, it's definitely a blast. It's definitely a perks compared to the real life grinds. I mean, iRacing's the way to go. Like I said, this stuff's fun, and I enjoy it very, very, very much.
Yep, and I tell you what, we enjoy seeing you out here putting on the show for us to enjoy each and every week. So, Justin, thanks again for spending your time here on Tuesday nights. And before we let you go, I, of course, got to hand over the mic to you and have you give the spiel that you probably know very well now. So, we're going to go hand over the mic to you and thank who you got to thank, whether sponsors, teammates, or anyone else here watching at home.
First and foremost, thank you for an incredible job you do each and every week. Like I said, thank ASRC for giving us a race to place. Excuse me, place to race. Got that all twisted up. Was looking at my phone. This group is, like I said, is a great group of guys, great admins, great atmosphere. Thank everybody watching out here. Obviously, without you guys, we wouldn't be doing this. We got to provide some entertainment to you. Thank my girlfriend. She's watching in. Want to thank myself, JustinBrooksDesigns.com, Locklear Deer Processing, Crow Sim Shots, and thank any of my buddies that's out there watching too. I told them about the league and all that, and they said they're going to tune in. So I don't know what time they tune in. I haven't talked to them, but thank them for watching as well. So I mean, like I said, keep it short and sweet, and hope you have yourself a good night, Brett.
Yep, I sure will. Justin, you go celebrate this win. And you, my man, also have a good 4th of July. Man, go celebrate that. It's going to be a fun weekend.
Yes, sir. We'll see you around.
Yep, we'll catch you next week, Justin. So have a good one.
You too, buddy.
Alrighty, folks, that was Justin Brooks down in victory lane once again, and he picks up his 6th career win here at ASRC. And like I said, tying one of his good buddies, Josh Cottle, in the ASRC stat win column. So that will do it here tonight with the post-race show. Let's head on over live and run through tonight's finishing results and get you guys out of here at a decent time here tonight. As it looks like results may not populate, so we'll try and do it the old way, put the tower up on the left side of the screen. So Justin Brooks picking up the win. Stephen Hoffman in the 86 will finish second. 21 machine of Greggy Long rounds out the podium. Those are the 3 drivers we got to chat with here tonight. Finishing in 4th where he started is the 13 machine of Zach Coyer, rounding out the top 5. That going to the 48 of Tim Rogers. Finishing in 6th is our points leader. Coming in and leaving tonight, it is the 1 car of Tanner Tallarico. Stephen Rochford in the 66 will finish 7th. 8th going to TJ Hansen, picking up another top 10 finish. 9th going to the 51 machine of Ron Hart, and rounding out the top 10, the 38 machine of Dave Payne. Ace Hart in the 145 will finish 11th. 12th going to the 3 machine, or the 6 on the car, of Jay Dunnigan. 13th is the 73 machine of Jamie Prevost. 14th, JT Batson in the 906. 15th is the 31 of Zach Hummel. 16th, 77 of Scott Rochford. 17th is Ty Delphia in the 013. And then finishing 18th, tough break here tonight, is the 88 of Chuck Darling. So want to give a shout out to all the live viewers here tuning in to tonight. Thanks again for tuning on in. If you want some more racing action with the American Sim Racing Club, tune in tomorrow night for the Street Stocks here at IRP, or of course next Tuesday, same time, same place, and we will be racing at the Richmond Raceway. Got to give a shout out to all the replay viewers, as well as the partners and the people that make things happen here at ASRC. If you want to find out more about ASRC, check them out at American Sim Racing Club on Facebook. And of course, we got to check out Postma Flooring with the title sponsorship. You can check them out with the link in the description. Of course, we got to thank Boardwalk Subs coming on board with the caution counter. And of course, the LaPlante Triple Crown Challenge. That challenge will come to an end here in just a few weeks, so that will be exciting to see as well. And of course, got to thank all the drivers coming on out here, spending their weeknights with us, putting on the show for us to enjoy, as well as the admins that do all the legwork in the background. So that'll do it here tonight at IRP. Like I said, tune in tomorrow night. We'll be racing with the American Sim Racing Club with the Street Stocks. Same time, same place on the Turn 3 Racing Network. So that'll do it here tonight. Turn 3 is partnered with that logo you see in the bottom right of your screen. That is Premier Setup Shops. You can find them also with the link in the description. Even if you don't want to buy anything, if you want to buy anything, you know where to find them. Some really good super speedways, NASCAR, road course, and of course, some of the best dirt setups. You can find the link in the description. That'll take you over there. Or if there's other stuff that you may want, you can check them out. A click would go a long way and would be greatly appreciated by myself. So that'll do it here tonight from me. Everyone take care, stay safe. If I don't talk to you again, have a great 4th of July. Go celebrate it on up. Go see some fireworks. Go see some good old freedom. And yeah, we are thankful for the great country that we live in. So I've been Brett the Jet in the booth. Stay safe. Have a great week. And we will catch you in 1 week's time. So I've been Brett the Jet, and I just flew by you. Have a good one.